Trae Young to do it. And the first guy to ever do it off the bench. Phenomenal player. The fact that Jim Boylen hasn't made him a starter is mind-boggling.
He should be fired in the offseason.
He even tried to take credit for Kobe White's development. And I even saw a Chicago's Bull fan that tweeted, before Chris Dunn got injured, Kobe White wasn't getting legitimate minutes anyway, so you had no part in his development. But shout out to Kobe. He's doing what we thought he'd do in the league. He's thriving. His game is built for the NBA game and the current way the league is constructed. And just phenomenal play we've seen from him. Hopefully he keeps it up and continues what we hope will be a lengthy and successful NBA career. And, before we get out of here, we got to talk about the same things we always talk about. HeelToughBlog.com. Got a lot of great stuff on the website. As we talked about in this podcast, Carolina won a basketball game. That meant that the recap and Anthony's analysis were a little bit more positive, a lot more fun to write for us. You can check those out on HeelToughBlog.com. We'll, of course, have you ready for Syracuse by Saturday. So check that out. That's for all your basketball coverage. Football-wise, we are getting closer to spring football by the minute. Mac Brown actually held a press conference today, just kind of addressing what spring ball is going to be focused on and some updates around the program since we last heard from him after National Signing Day. So we're getting closer to that. It's going to be a busy, fun spring leading into what's going to be a very hyped fall for the Tar Heels on the gridiron. So be on the lookout for us getting you ready for football. And we've also even started adding some light baseball coverage. We got a recap from this past series loss to Dallas Baptist on the website. I imagine we'll have you covered after this weekend series that the Diamond Heels beat NCAT earlier this week. So you can check out all that on HeelToughBlog.com. We now got you covered football, basketball, and even baseball-wise. And we want to encourage you guys to subscribe to the podcast wherever you can find your podcast. We're on every major podcast platform: Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, Himalaya, Player FM. We're on every major podcast demographic. Just search the Roy's Boys Podcast. And you can give us a like, give us a review, and we highly encourage you to subscribe, as even though the season's coming to an end, we'll still be having podcasts on a weekly basis in the upcoming offseason. So we want to make sure you guys are getting covered with all the great Carolina basketball content that we bring you guys. And lastly, I want to thank Anthony for coming on here, talking about a win for the first time. Finally brought some energy to the podcast. I've been having to carry the load, but it's nothing new. That's kind of what I do in my everyday walk of life. So thank you for coming on, talking a little Carolina basketball. We want to thank you guys for listening. And as always, go Tar Heels.